What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live once again for this beautiful Sunday. And we're here to talk about boxing and things that concern boxing, combat sports, life, right? And first of all, shout out to Chuck Norris, man. Chuck Norris went on in. He passed away at age 86. He had his birthday this month, which was on the 10th, and he passed away on the 19th. I think he was doing what he loved to do. You know, one of my fears as getting older is the lack of ability that you have to do stuff that you used to do, that you love to do, that you like to do, that you can do. You know, my fear is not being able to do so. Eunice Butterball in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. First person on the chat to say hello. Leave a comment below. Tell me where you're at on this beautiful Sunday. For some people is Monday. That's how big this earth is, right? And back to Chuck, though. Chuck Norris was somebody I grew up watching. You know, I was the youngest in my family, and we watched action films in the 80s. You know, I guess that's how we were brought up in it. You know, it's so different because we have action films now, but they were nothing like the 80s. You know? Bill knows boxing in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. What's up, Bill? Roy Stun, or Royston Dawkins, or is it Roy Stun Dawkins? Okay. Hello, Counterpunch to you. I heard that Hergovic will sign with Zufa Boxing. Zufa Boxing and fighters that are considering signing with Zufa. This is my counterpunch on everyone that thinks about signing with Zufa. If you are not a champion, sign with Zufa. Get the money. Get the exposure. You know, they signed a UK deal with Sky Sports. So there's no real excuse on why you shouldn't, especially when you're not. Now, if you got a title shot in the WBA or the WBO or the WBC or the IBF or the IBO, which a lot of times you don't really hear much about the IBO at all, it's, unless you're one of those people, sign with Zufa and get some money. Get that money, bro. Get that dough. Fear Assassin 5207. Sup, Kurt? How's it going? It's going, man. Just left the gym. The gym puts you in check. It lets you know how bad in shape you are. Do you think Bakole should sign with Zufa? I think he probably would, based on the fact that his relationship with Turkey Alalshikh. I think it's good enough for him to go over and, you know, do his thing. You know, I think if Turkey asked Martin Bakole to go, he would go. But I don't know if he will because, to be honest with you, Martin Bakole, he's training and whatnot, but we don't know what kind of shape he's in. We don't know how and what type of fight we have left in him. So we don't know what, you know, he comes in and we don't know what to expect. Are we going to get the Martin Bakole just got off the couch? He's over 300 pounds. Are we going to get the Martin Bakole that beat up Jared Anderson and knocked him down 4 or 5 times? We don't know. He's too unpredictable to be relied on. And since that's the case, I can understand if Turkey Alalshikh may look at him like, I don't know if I want to give him a pity, you know, because that's what happened to Martin Bakole last time. Andy Ruiz, the second coming. That dude got a little. He got one check. He got one check because he didn't fight after he beat up Jared Anderson. That one check got him all fat and lazy and comfortable. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. He was still in the spotlight. He was still on social media. You know, he was fooling people with that Andy Ruiz, those big shirts, them big elastic shirts that he was wearing. He had everybody thinking that he was training, and on the whole time, he wasn't. He was training his mouth. Okay, he was in shape. He was round, and we found out when he decided to take a fight for some more money against Joseph Parker. And Joseph Parker, you know, he must have been big and burly or whatever, but he was in shape. I think Joseph Parker would have whooped a lot of fighters that night. But he put Martin Bakole down. Billy Nelson is a snake, I think. I don't think he has Martin's best interest. He stopped that fight because he was worried about his own pockets. He didn't really care if he won or not, because all he could say, being the boxer and manager, yo, we took this fight short notice. But let's have some accountability. Why didn't you know the condition that Martin Bakole was in? Why didn't you know that? Why didn't you know that Martin Bakole was like that? Nelson apparently hired a dietitian for Bakole. Let's see what difference it makes. Well, all we got to do is wait and see. I mean, that's good to know. Bryce Productions, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Kurt, you watched the Ammo Williams fight yesterday? I did not. But I will be live next week for the fight, Thurman and Sebastian. Fonfora versus Thurman. I think Thurman's going to do it. It's crazy. Turkey might have poured more than $1 billion into boxing already in a few years. He made a lot of people rich. He made a lot of people millionaires. Well, let's just say this. He made a lot of people millionaires, because just because you become a millionaire doesn't mean you're going to be rich, and doesn't mean you're going to stay rich. Because $1 million isn't what it used to be 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You give somebody $1 million in 1990, they're rich. You know what I mean? They may be broke now, but they had $1 million for a long time. Yeah, but you're right. He might have spent, Turkey Alalshikh might have spent $1 billion in boxing. The two fights between Usyk and Tyson Fury, I mean, you look at what they spent alone on those two guys. That was a lot of money. Spent a lot of money on those guys. But yeah, everybody that's not a champion should sign with Zufa Boxing, because get that payday, man. You're prize fighters. You know, I mean, that loyalty to a sanctioning body, I don't really think it's all that. I mean, I would be worried more about the promoter than the sanctioning body, because the sanctioning bodies don't really get you fights. They may order fights, but they can only go as far as how far the fighters are willing to fight. So in other words, they can make Tyson Fury fight Dillian White. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Uncle Dana doing UFC fighters dirty right now. Well, he's jumping ship, because see, it's hard to cover two different sports. See, them UFC cats, they were getting screwed over a long time, and nobody said anything because everybody was just busy becoming fans or admiring their work. And I'm sitting there like, these dudes aren't getting paid nothing. They're walking around with flower ears. Those cauliflower ears, it just looks all like a cartoon, like Mickey Mouse, because they've busted blood vessels in their ears and all that, for about $50,000. I mean, them dudes fighting too, bro. They be fighting. I had a friend of mine. He was like a stunt actor or whatnot. Met him years ago. We used to call him Techno Viking. He lost an eye, bro, fighting in the UFC. Got caught. Dude spin around with a knee. I mean, sorry, with an elbow. Took that sucker right out, man. You know? BVO Sports TV, my favorite YouTuber. How can I get you on my podcast? Easy, man. Just say the word. I'm there. You do a great job. I appreciate it, man. You know, I've been doing videos, but YouTube is kind of, I don't know, they're weird. And I've got a ton of shorts that I got to put out. So after I put those out, I will come back because they incorporated shorts in the algorithms, and they push more shorts in their algorithms than full-length videos. So it's getting to the point where it's like, ugh. I hate shorts. I can't stand them, but they're necessary. I'll tell you what. BVO, what's your email? I mean, sorry, what's your Instagram? I'll inbox it. XK shots, counterpunch to you, brother. Yeah, they don't pay anything, but I think that was meant because I think their pitch for shorts. See, you can do a short, and see, remember, shorts weren't. You didn't get paid anything for shorts, so they give you cents on the dollar to make a short because YouTube and TikTok are at war. They're like Nike and Reebok. They're in high competition because when TikTok came around, that changed everything. But YouTube, they started pitching the idea to their clients like, listen, hey, you don't have to pay as much because we're going to incorporate shorts, which it won't feature every video, but it'll feature maybe every 5 or 6 videos of shorts. So that's cutting money down tremendously. Some cracking fights coming up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, I'm looking forward to next weekend. Keith Thurman, Keith one time Thurman, he's coming back. You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. Right? One time, baby, send me the contract. Send me the contract, baby. I'm Keith one time Thurman. I ain't got time to waste. I ain't got time to waste on these dudes. I told y'all. I told y'all. That dude's a trip. I always like Keith Thurman, though. You know, Keith Thurman. I've always liked Keith. I liked Keith when he first came out. Oh, man, he was on fire because he wanted to fight these dudes. But unfortunately for Keith, Keith found out the hard way that these guys won't fight him. You know, they are not going to fight him. Floyd didn't want him. Khan didn't want him. Danny Garcia, it took him a while to fight Keith, but Keith beat him. He finally got that fight, that unification. Then what was he? The WBC, and I think what was it? The IBF. I forget what Danny Garcia was. I think he was the WBC. I'm not convinced by Atoma yet. Needs more wins. Cap Quest 1. Oh, yeah, man. Keith one time Thurman, man. He should sell cars if not anything else. I'm the man with the hat and the ponytail. Now, he got rid of his ponytail, didn't he? Now he got the Tony Soprano. Kurt, you will be live for Atoma versus Franklin. Yeah, I will. It bummed me out when they moved it. So that's an all-day day. So That comes on. Let's see. I know it's March 28th. So that fight will be my time. Okay, this is weird. All right, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It says 7. No, that's not right. I'm going to tell you exactly. What time does Moses Atoma versus Jermaine Franklin come on?
The Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin fight is scheduled for ring walks around 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 4 p.m. Pacific Time on March 28, 2026. You can watch it live on DAZN.
It's supposed to be 6. So that means it starts at probably at 1 or 2. So what you say about one time and Errol Spence never happening? Well, that's a loaded question, man. First off, Keith, back to what I was going to say to answer that question. Let me continue what I was talking about with Keith. Keith wanted to fight all these guys. By the time Errol Spence came around, Keith had already unified the division. Not fully, but he'd already unified the division. He'd already beat Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was regarded as one of the top welterweights at the time. You had Kell Brook. You had Keith Thurman. You had Danny Garcia. Who else did you have in those back in those days? You had Sean Porter, and he beat Sean Porter in a tough fight, right? So Keith fought Sean Porter. Keith fought Danny Garcia. Um, and the crazy thing is, Errol Spence came about. And Errol Spence came about, and he wanted to smoke because he wanted to fight everyone. He was a young kid. You know who reminds me of Errol Spence today? Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason reminds me of a young Errol Spence before, of course, the car accidents and the alcohol abuse and all that. But that's who he reminds me of. The body work. He goes to the body. He's very aggressive. He's very exciting to see, and that's who reminds me of Errol Spence now. Anyway, Errol Spence was known for giving Floyd that work, giving Floyd good work, should I say, in sparring. And he got that reputation because of that. Just like Danny Dubois got the reputation from either knocking out Joshua, dropping, or buzzing, or whatever. AJ in sparring. Okay, Errol Spence got that same type of reputation. Okay, so then he comes about. Meanwhile, Keith one time Thurman was calling out everybody. He was calling out Floyd. He wanted Floyd because Floyd was the WBA mandatory, and I think he was the number one or something like that. But Keith wanted him, and Floyd ducked him. And what happened, Floyd didn't want people to keep talking about him and Keith, so Floyd threw Errol Spence in there, the guy that gave him good work. He threw him in there in the conversation as a diversion. So when he did that, when all Floyd had to do is, we got Errol Spence. If he want to fight somebody, if Keith one time Thurman want to fight somebody, he need to get in there with Spence. Because Spence will give everybody problems. He'll give everybody the work. He gave me good work, so he'll give everybody else work. And I know what I'm worth. I know what I can do. I know my ability. I know I'm the king of the king. I know I'm the cream de la creme. I know I'm all that. And he did that. Everybody listen. All LDBC guys, all those brothers over there, all these other channels, those off channels, Dante's Boxing Nation and all of them, Boxing Ego, they all ran with the same thing. When Floyd talked, they all scrambled, and everybody was like, yo, what's up, Keith? When you going to fight the new next sensational Errol Spence? And Keith was like, I ain't fighting that boy. That boy 2 or 3 steps behind me. He's gonna have to wait. What about me, Floyd? Right? He screamed at Floyd, right? Floyd got arrows screaming at him. That's how it was. That's all it was. So Floyd, between Floyd Mayweather, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence. That's how Spence really got going. Spence was good, but actually, he really tested as much, right? Yo, the J Roos theory. I was about to say, where's your picture, sir? J Roos in the building. Hooney versus Clark. Who wins, Kurt? Clark. Clark's gonna knock out Hooney. He's gonna knock out Hooney. Adamas is the man right now. He gave Terrence Crawford good work. He just won last night. You know, good for Adamas, man. A lot of people thought he beat Saraz, right? Alex Max Power 18. And Lobo. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Losing the Pac-Man derailed Thurman's trajectory. Yeah. See, Keith should have won that fight. That did put a damper on Keith, but really what it did was inactivity really was the first enemy of Keith. He wasn't staying active enough. You know, he got paid. He fell in love. He was constantly injured, and then, you know, a lot of people questioned how injured was he, meaning they don't think he was as injured as he claimed to be. They just thought he had a little money. He might have had. You think about a boxer, you think about the money that's coming in from PBC, what we've learned about Al Heyman with the PBC and Showtime. They didn't pay all those guys right away, which for some fighters that was good, because like guys like Adrian Broner. Adrian 50, 60, $70,000 on a tab. He'll do that and then he'll be flat broke because some people just don't believe in putting things up. Some people are careless or bad with money, especially people with big egos and all that, you know. So that's what happened with that. And because guys like that spent money recklessly, Al Heyman was pretty much sending money to them. See, those upsides to bonuses based on pay-per-view sales, they don't come right away. They come in quarters, okay? They come down there like residual checks or royalties. And they like that. You know, I know Adrian liked that. So comparing that to Keith Thurman was another one of those PBC fighters that he might have got $300,000 at one time. Took it back to where's his wife from? Is she from Nepal? So yeah, Nepal. You know how much money $300,000 would. Come on, that's like moving to Thailand. I know it's not in Thailand, but you know the same principle. You move with $300,000 to someplace like that, you're gonna have a dope house. You're gonna have everything set, and you're gonna live a long time. For many, many years. You're gonna live a long time with $300,000. So him having that type of money, he probably didn't want to fight. He probably didn't want to fight at all. He probably was like, yo, you know, he could have like, nah. But if he would beat Manny Pacquiao like he's supposed to, because he put a lot of energy into a fight that he didn't win. Pacquiao got those T-Rex arms. Pacquiao got those T-Rex arms. He ain't gonna be able to touch me, son. He ain't gonna be able to touch me. If he beats me, I'm gonna say, hear ye, yea, senator, hear ye. And that's exactly what he did. Hello, people. How are y'all doing today? Antonio Davis, counterpunch to you, brother. Hooney Clark should be worth a match, worth a watch. Hooney looked a much better fighter versus Wardley. Wardley's gonna time him. I mean, Clark is going to time Hooney. Jarrell, not bad boxer. Well, he's not a good boxer either. And I like Jarrell Miller. I mean, but I just think he's a better spokesman, a better salesman than he is an executioner. You know, because I mean, I was not impressed his last fight. I don't care about the hair piece and all. I don't care about none of that. I just looked at how he fought. And Jarrell Miller fights the same way. Jarrell Miller he will pressure you. He will push you back to create a certain distance so he can land shots. Which, if you look at him, he'll take 2 or 3 shots trying to place somebody in position to throw a punch. And they're like the last fight. I mean, he will get somebody that knows how to, like a Chris Bird or somebody like, will have target practice at Jarrell Miller. It would be different if he hit like Ernie Shavers. But he doesn't. Not saying he can't knock you out. I'm just saying his knockouts come from accumulation. But again, he's another person. You don't know what type of shape he's going to come in. So it's kind of hard to predict anything with somebody unpredictable. Thurman was the favorite, I think. Old man Pacquiao had been written off by people. Hey, I think that was one of the best wins in Pacquiao's career, in his later career. Who had better powers of recovery, Holmes or Fury? I would say Holmes. Because, see, Holmes, he fought 15 rounds. So you had to stay in there longer and take more punishment because you're in there longer. Revelation TV. Salute Kurt. What will Sanchez's career look like if he loses to Richard Torre? Not good. Because Richard's young. He's a young fighter. He's a fighter that wants to show that he got what it takes, that he belongs. So it's pressure on both people, really. But Richard Torre, he's a guy that's looking to land his biggest win of his career, and that's against Frank Sanchez. Frank just has to be Frank. But Frank has to show us that he's still the same Frank, that he's still the Cuban Flash. Because if, like that knee thing, you know, if he had knee injury, he shouldn't have never took that fight with Ajit Caballo, because Ajit Caballo is too legit to quit. And he don't quit until you're on your knees. Ask Zilly Zhang about that. Kurt, Terramona versus Dave Allen next would be a good test for him. I think it would definitely be a step up. But then Eddie's smarter than that. He's not going to put Terramona in there with Dave Allen. Now, if Dave loses again, he'll probably have to fight Terramona, because that's the only thing that these fighters can do. The only thing that these fighters can do is show that they're promoters, that they're still worth a damn. But that's going to cost them, because they're going to put them in there with somebody that's up and coming. See, by the time a promoter makes a Terramona versus Dave Allen, Eddie's already written Dave Allen off. He's already written him off. Barry. Kurt, everyone getting a fight deal, Netflix, but Crawford got nothing. That's odd. Crawford retired. Terramona destroys Dave Allen in 3, says Jay Roos. Probably do it in 2. Because, I mean, you ask yourself, Dave Allen is more popular because he's British. Let's just be real. He's a British fighter. He's funny. He's likable. But skill-wise, how good is he compared to someone like Curtis Harper? See, Curtis Harper, Jermaine Franklin, he crossed over. Jared Anderson attempted to cross over. It failed. He failed with that. So they put him in there with that big ass giant. Mm. Yeah, I think he takes him out in 2. Kurt, do you think the PBC will join DAZN Boxing? Nope. I don't think that'll happen. DAZN Boxing? No. That's like Nike and Reebok, man. They ain't never joining. Because Terramona, I think people underestimate his punching power because they see how nice he is. Terramona is a nice Christian guy. He's not a trash talker. You see how Curtis Harper, smelled on him. And the crazy thing is, man, that'd have been somebody else. Somebody would got smacked in the mouth. Somebody would have went upside his head for doing something that stupid. You know? TKV versus yeah. I don't know. Probably Riak Pori, right? Riak Pori. Kurt, who is current number 1 versus? Wait, Kurt, who is current number 1 American heavyweight? I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, is it Jermaine Franklin? They're talking about my dog right there. She really doesn't do that with me anymore, though. They're talking about this dog right there. She's like a boxer. She's ready to go in now. She'll come out and wreak havoc on everybody that comes through. When they come through there, she's like, yeah, man. But I mean, she scares the hell out of everybody that comes through. Like, she doesn't bark at me so far because I haven't been here in like maybe a week or so. But even though if she sees me getting out of the car, she ain't gonna do anything. She's just gonna look at you, you know. But Jared Anderson, I don't know if it's Jared. I mean, we still got Joshua Edwards. We got to see what he's about. Jermaine Franklin, I think at this point, if he gets beat by Moses Atoma, he's more like the American gatekeeper or just gatekeeper overall. I think he replaced Derek Chisora in that category. The only thing is Derek Chisora can knock you out. And a lot of times people see all those losses. They got to understand Derek Chisora can hit you and put your lights out. I'm not saying that Jermaine Franklin can't hit. What I'm saying, he's not known to hit like Derek Chisora. He doesn't have that reputation like Derek Chisora. Franklin is number 1. I mean, Franklin ain't fought Efe Ajagba, which fights over here. I know he's African. He hasn't fought Cuban Sanchez. Frank Sanchez, he hasn't fought him either. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that he hasn't fought. You know? See, Curtis Harper is trash. He should do hefty bag commercials. I wonder what he does on part-time, because I don't think he's just a full-time boxer. Moses by any means necessary. The zones and Netflix will eventually take over combat sports. Maybe. Chisora sets traps, then boom! That's how he floored Parker, Weiling, and Joyce. Hooney versus Clark, who wins? Clark. Because I definitely thought that Hooney was going to beat Fabio, and then it let me understand about Fabio. He's a tough, durable puncher. He's mobile. He's, Kurt, what YouTuber would you box and destroy in the ring if given the opportunity? Well, keep in mind, J. Roos, I mean, if it was weightless, that could be a lot of them. I would love to get a lot of those fighters and the fighters. I would love to get those YouTubers in the ring. I would love to boxing ego. I'm not really mad at him no more. I'm not saying it because I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at him no more. But I would like to box him because he trains a bit. He got that tall Eddie Hearn build. They're about boxing ego is about 6'4", 6'5". So he's a tall cat. I don't know how much he weighs, but I would bet that he's a heavyweight. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a small dude. Who else? I mean, you have guys like Aki and Dante's Boxing Nation. That would be a good one because he's a short, stocky fellow. I would love to box him. I would love to box Dante's Boxing Nation. And I'm not mad at him no more. I'm not angry or nothing like that because even though what they tried to do, I'm looking at sizes, people of a certain size, weight. Hit their weight class is more than likely they're heavyweight. If boxing ego's not a heavyweight, he has to be something like a Bridgerweight or down to a cruiserweight. Because I don't imagine him being that tall and being 180 pounds. You know what I mean? He's not a light heavy. He's bigger than that, and if he's not, he should. I would love to box him. Dante's Boxing Nation. Who else? See, smaller guy like Aki, he's too small. Them dudes are small. Kurt, all the top cash cows all have 2 losses. Undefeated mean nothing. Yeah? Yeah, him and Punch Drunk. Punch Drunk. I don't think he's a heavyweight. I don't think he's a heavyweight. I wouldn't want to box somebody that I got a massive size advantage over. I don't think that's fair. Because the first thing they say, big ass Kurt beat up this little other dude. Look how big Kurt is. And then people say, man, why don't you fight this dude over here, man? You fighting this guy, Kurt versus Hat Man. Bro, I've never seen Hat Man. Hat Man is like Bruce Wayne. You have never seen these dudes. You don't know what they look like. Shit, they could walk right past you. You wouldn't know who they are. I've heard that Hat Man, I've heard Hat Man used to have another channel called Hat Man. And I think it got shut down for whatever reason. And then he came back with Hat Man Strikes Back. But I don't know what they look like. And because of that, I don't know how big they are. Because you got people that say, man, what's up? We want to fight. And you see them, they're 160 pounds. And that's a lose-lose. You let a middleweight whoop your ass, people are going to say, man, big-ass Kurt got whooped by a middleweight. You beat up that middleweight, they're going to say the opposite. Man, Kurt did a dude wrong, man. He hit that dude. He two-pieced him. The dude kind of staggered, and then he just floored him like Joshua knocking out Ngannou or somebody. I was training at the gym today, right? And I thought about Carl Froch. I hear Carl wanted to fight Jake Paul, which is a lot younger. And then he said he would iron John Fury out, which is a lot older. I think Carl Froch is what, 47, 48. I'm 46. So, yeah, I would fight him. I would fight Carl Froch, but Carl, you gotta remember something. Carl's in shape. Carl's in shape. So you better have it on your mind. You know what I mean? Because you fight Carl, and he's probably a 180. Man, Carl probably beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna iron you out. I'm the Cobra. You want to take on the Cobra? You know, I seen some of your work. You're trash. Froch would hurt John Fury. Yeah, he would hurt John Fury. Hell, I'd hurt John Fury. But then again, what pleasure would I take in beating up John, unless he tried something? But I mean, I just see him as a guy that likes to release steam. Cobra would ice John Fury. Carl about 220. If Carl Froch is 220 pounds, then I wouldn't feel any kind of way if I knocked him out, if I could. Because if he's 200 I don't think so. I don't think Carl Froch is 220 pounds, bro. He ain't no 220 pounds. No, no. Because, I mean, he didn't gain a lot of weight after because he's one of those guys that's always going to train. He's always going to be a certain way. So no, I mean, I don't think that at all. I think that yeah, I would, yeah, other YouTubers, yeah, why not? But there's a weight, because I'm a big dude. Kurt versus Coogan. Yeah, Coogan can get it. He sure can. Because he's a big dude. I seen he's a big, tall motherfucker. Big, tall, long head. I can wind to knock down John. He sure did. Caught him with that two-piece. And John's face was right there. He did a throwaway jab. Bowed and came right straight through the middle. Like a damn halfback. Popped that man in the face, knocked John Fury back. Oh. Kurt versus Mr. T now. I ain't fighting Mr. T. Mr. T in his 70s. That's an abomination. Ellie broke back. Nah. Yeah, setback. I wouldn't. Nah, man. Why you call him? Why you call him broke back? Is that something I don't know? Coogan the kangaroo. Kurt versus Zhang. I'll pay for it. Kurt DeVille versus Zhilei Zhang. I ain't fighting Zhilei Zhang. Well, depends on how much they want to pay me. But Zhang, bro, Zhang probably detached, man. I don't know. That dude show you that Chinese power. Brokeback Mountain. I don't like that dude. Why does he call him Brokeback Mountain? Kurt, you can literally beat Wilder. I wouldn't fight Wilder. I wouldn't fight him. He will hurt you for sure. Carlos Adames is the problem. He really beat Shiraz, in my opinion. I think he beat Shiraz too, but I think they gave, that was favoritism. He said, Kurt, there's no friends in boxing. Say Isaac. Counterpunch of you. Peace, Kurt. Imagine if Dubois stops Wardley. Got a weird feeling about this one. It wouldn't surprise me at all. People's gonna learn. Quit jumping on the hype train. Counterpunch, who do you think the best heavyweight right now? Usyk and Caballo. Kurt, did you see Roy Jones Jr. take on Zufa? He's saying that you can't become undisputed with them. You can't become undisputed over there. You can't become undisputed with Zufa. Zufa won't help you. You understand me? Zhang will hurt Kurt. They must pay you $15 million. I'd do it for 15. Of course, I'd fight anybody for $15 million. Line them up. Because what's going to happen, I'm going to just worry about my footwork. Give him a stiff jab, right hand. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving like Edis Landi Lara. Edis Landi Lara. Lara. Edis Landi Lara. Lara. Is boxer going to beat a UFC boxer? Is a boxer going to beat a UFC fighter? I don't know. Zhang hits pretty hard. All it takes is that right hook. Boom! Oh! Zhang runs for you like he does everyone. Zhang will hit you, and then he's coming to run you right over. Look how he did Wilder. He hit Wilder. Boom! Boom! Yeah, he messed Wilder up, man. Wilder didn't know what hit him. He turned him when he spins around. Hey, yeah. These boxers want to get hit, and then they want to talk about, hey, what's going on with the lights? The strobe lights are not, they're not regulated. Pow! Hey, what are you hitting me? Turned his cat into Bob Villa. You get hit. Pow! Well, hey, the canvas was pretty. Pow! Oh! You got to move like Parker Slick move. Yeah, if you don't, he's going to beat you to death. You know what I want to see? Besides Martin Bakole versus Zhang, I want to see Jared Anderson versus Zhang. I want to see what they do. I want to see if Zhang can do the same work Bakole did on Anderson. Zhang too old. China Dragon. He ain't too old. He ain't too old. Wilder got hit and started walking. They started walking to the parking lot. Nah, I'm gonna tell you who got hit, and they just didn't know where they were. Charles, I walk this earth like a god. Martin. Man, he hit Charles. Ortiz hit Charles with a shot so hard. Bow! He was like, he just stopped in his tracks. Yeah, it was over with. He knocked this man out standing up. That was the funny. He hit Charles Martin so hard that Charles, bow! And here comes King Kong. You see King Kong, his eyes light up like because he's trying to knock you out, man. King Kong's violent. He's a violent old man. John Fury offered Carl out to his face. Got any hotcakes on 2 girls, 1 cup, though? Wilder thought Fury hits hard until he fought Zhang. I mean, they brought all that on that man. They shouldn't have done him like that. That's what happens when you enable people. Wilder is a result of enabling. See, they didn't want to train Wilder. They didn't want to push Wilder. So what did they do? They enabled him. They let him do whatever he wanted to do. You know, they let him pretty much become a kid in a gym. Jack's man. He said, Kurt, can you imagine prime Luis Ortiz in this era? Yeah. I don't think it'd make a difference, though. Imagine a 30-year-old Luis Ortiz in this era right here, right now. There would be nobody that would want to fight him. Nobody would want to fight Luis Ortiz at age 30. I mean, the true age of age 30. Nobody likes to fight a southpaw. Well, because I think they did that to Luis Ortiz anyway. Luis Ortiz was a matchroom fighter. Then he became, a fighter for Al Heyman. What you got for is today. David Tua was sickest to never be champion. You got to put David Tua in that realm like Ernie Shavers. He's in that Ernie Shavers realm, like one of those guys that are real dangerous, that fought for the title a couple times, just never quite made it. A lot of fighters like that, man. This is boxing. Moses is the real deal. Ray Mercer versus David Tua. I don't know, man. A lot of these fights didn't happen. They didn't happen, and some of them didn't happen for a reason. Just dangerous fights. I meant what you got for us today. I'm using talk to text, so forgive me. I got boxing news. Say it ain't so. Rolly versus Clarissa Shields. Clarissa needs to sit down somewhere. Do you think Caballero will wait on Usyk, or will he fight a decent opponent? Ajit Caballero, with the help of Frank Warren, will force Usyk to fight. If he doesn't fight, they're going to strip him of the title. So I don't even think that'll happen. If they don't make efforts to get a fight between themselves and Usyk, I mean, in Ajit Caballero. No. Kurt is like the apple is too good. Yeah, man. This is a Honeycrisp apple. Organic, of course. Sorry about that, guys. We had technical difficulties. No, but I think Warren is the best. CJ Rich Boxing and BS. Those are the best apples, man. Organic honey. Crisp. Yep. I like them a lot. He said best promoter is Ben Shalom because don't worry about it. Hey, Kurt, how you doing, man? I'm doing all right. Just hanging out. We're having a small church service. B Wayne 87. Bob Arum is the best. Imagine the conversation that Bob had with people that wanted him to join the zone. I don't want to be with Eddie or that snooty ass Oscar De La Hoya. I want my own shit. Kurt, what Louisiana meat market is like? It depends on which one. The Bob father. Yeah. I want you to kiss the ring, you cunt. If you want to fight again, kiss the ring. If you don't kiss the ring, you'll never fight under my banner. I have a contract with you for 5 years, so for 5 years, you won't do jack shit. How would Don King do in today's boxing? He would have signed Joshua. He probably would have signed Wilder too. He would have made that fight, bro. Don King, Joshua versus Wilder in 2018, if he was still the man. If 18 was 2000, 2001, and Joshua would had the WBA and the WBC, and then Wilder had the IBF, because that's all they had back then, right? They only had 3 belts. Don King would have made that fight. Don King would have made AJ versus Deontay Wilder for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. And he probably would have had that shit in... Knowing him, he probably would have had it in Madison Square Garden. Imagine that. This is how it would work. Don King would go to Al. I don't even know if there would be an Al Heyman. I don't think Al Heyman would exist in Don King's world. Don King would have, you would have probably found Al Heyman stanking in the Lankin. They couldn't. Don King, he would get AJ. He would probably catch AJ at a damn soccer game. I see you, baby. I see you. I see AJ. Anthony Joshua, Big Femi. Big Femi. Would you talk to me, Big Femi? Let me tell you something. I got something so big for you, so bad for you. Oh, it's all you, baby. Don't worry about it. The women love you. The men love you. Everybody love you. Don't worry about it, AJ. We got Under Armour. I got something better than Under Armour, baby. I got a contract for $150 million with your name written all over it. If you want to see it, come on, walk this way. Hey, right? Yeah, you serious? Hey, I was born serious, baby. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Come on in my office. Let me show you something. Now, we know everybody want to see Deontay Wilder and you get it on for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Two big, huge, colossus men fighting over prime supremacy of the heavyweight division. And I know it's hard because Wilder wants too much money, maybe. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. All you got to do is sign a contract. Don't worry about it. We'll put the rest in later. Just give me your signature. Right? He'll sign with him. Then Wilder, I'm tired of him ducking me. Don't worry about it, baby. You're ducking yourself. Don't duck this check. Because if you duck the check, you're going to be ducking an opportunity that you can't ever get back. Let me show you how much money that you'll be getting. You'll be getting $150 million. And what he'll do is, Don King will probably do some shit like promise them both $150 million. Come to find out they may be splitting that shit. Don King will probably say the same thing to both fighters and have them thinking, yo, we both getting $150 million. Because he wouldn't do all that discreet shit. No, he would just lie and say, you know what? Allegedly, he would tell them both, you're getting $150 million, baby. Nobody getting that type of money on this earth. Not Mike, not Evander, baby, and surely not Lennox Lewis. Don't worry about them. They through. But you are the truth. You are the future. Don't worry about it. The bronze bomber, the Alabama sledgehammer is coming through with $150, and I got you written all over it. You do got it? Oh yeah, baby, I got it. Oh, I got it. It's a pig's pussy pork. He'll get it. How old is King now? He looks old. Dude, he's 95. Him and Don King are the same age. I don't remember which one's older. I know it's like Prince and Michael Jackson. They were both born in 1958. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see. Let's see here. How old is Don King?
Don King is 94 years old.
Okay. How old is Bob Arum?
Bob Arum, the boxing promoter, is 94 years old as of March 2026.
So, they're both 94 years old. Don King made Wilder Stavern, yeah? I mean, but that was when he was fading because Stavern wasn't an AJ and Stavern wasn't a Deontay Wilder. See, he had a fighter, but the fighter that he had was more than likely gonna lose. You know, his last claim to fame was when Stavern knocked out the Olympian Chris Arreola, because Chris Arreola was a bronze Olympian. Or he might have been silver. What did Chris Arreola place in the Olympics? I think it was silver, no?
Chris Arreola never competed in the Olympic Games. Although he was a successful amateur boxer, he turned professional in 2003 and became a heavyweight contender.
Huh. I got that wrong. Because Wait, amateur career, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But he missed out on competing for the Olympic Games. This is weird. Okay. Well, I had that all wrong then. So he knocked out Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola was destined to be the next, or the first. I said the next because, you know, Andy Ruiz is the first. But this is before Andy Ruiz. And he beat Chris Arreola. He won Golden Gloves. Yo, I need advice, brother to brother. Jay Begnor. Okay. Damn, Don and Bob are old. They were around before prohibition. Prohibition. Stavern was the WBC champion. That's where, well, he got it based on Vitali dropping it. Who did Stavern beat to become champ? Nobody. I think it was one of those email deals because Vitali Klitschko retired to, you know, because he went to another job. It's the love of boxing that keeps people alive. Some of us. He said only the good die young. Sometimes. I heard a pro boxer back down from a fight with Don King in his office. Well, keep in mind, Don King wasn't a small dude. You know, Don King beat a guy to death. He beat a guy to death. What was Stavern's first defense after receiving the belt? Stavern. Stavern. All right, let's take a look and see here. He fought Ray Austin on June 25th, 2011 for the vacant WBC silver heavyweight title. Stavern won the fight by a 10-round TKO, becoming the mandatory challenger by Vitali Klitschko. Okay. Stavern versus Arreola, two number 1 ranked heavyweight Bermain Stavern and their number 2 ranked heavyweight Chris Arreola to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship, which was vacated by Vladimir Klitschko in October. They fought the fight was an immediate rematch of their April 27th, 2013 bout, which Stavern won by unanimous decision. The fight then was scheduled for May 10th, 2014 and was held at the Gale Center in Los Angeles, California, despite beating Arreola in their previous meeting. Stavern entered the bout as a plus 140 underdog, with a number of media outlets predicting an Arreola win. Stavern won the rematch by a 6-round technical knockout. Arreola was caught with a right hand early in the round and was unable to defend against increasing volume of Stavern. So there is the history of Stavern. That was the last heavyweight that Don King had, going back to Don King, which ties us on into this conversation in the first place. Kurt, who wins Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, prime for prime? That's a good fight. That's a good question, too, because I don't think that I think Wilder he was so dangerous at that point where people thought he was illusion, but he was confident. But sometimes that's what you need. Yeah, he got the shit beat out of him by Tyson Fury, but I think Wilder knew. Wilder believed that if I hit you just right, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to stop your clock. Wilder believed that. All I got to do is hit you. Okay, let me give me one shot. Hell, I am. All you're going to hear wake up is Wilder. Bomb squad! How Wilder do it? Kurt, should Miller come in at 300 pounds against Battle? No. He shouldn't do bad. Miller tripping, man. I know you husky. I got his cousin, Jarrell Miller. He comes on the show sometimes. Them Millers are husky people. They just husky, but that doesn't mean you should stay that way. You're a professional fighter, for Christ's sake. Wilder keeps telling people he eats dog food. Why would he do that? Odd. He wants people to think he's a dog. Dirty dog. Filthy dog. That doggy dog pound. Style make fights. Wilder dangerous boxer from Joshua. Yeah, man, because Wilder hit Joshua with that right hand. He might be lights out. Imagine that. Everybody that's listening, I want y'all to listen right now. I told you. You see him on the floor twitching? I told you that I was going to knock him out. That's why Eddie Perm, he didn't want that to be done. Eddie Hearn didn't want this fight. We made them sign a contract. We shamed them into taking this fight with us. And I told everybody that I was going to knock him out. And look at him now. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. To this day. You know. But it would be Joshua trying to boxing on the back foot, which is not a good idea for Wilder. You want to get knocked out from Wilder? Box on the back foot. That's how Fury got knocked out, or almost, or should I say, right? He certainly got dropped because he was calling himself way back here in the outskirts, jabbing. And all Wilder was doing, Wilder was looking, because he has the space. He has the space to come in and land that full extension of that right hand. He catches you at the end of that shot. You're dead meat. And Wilder knew it. You know, a lot of people think, man, a good job from Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury didn't supposed to make it that far. This was supposed to be a joke. This was supposed to be an easy touch because of the record that Tyson Fury had. He had no defeats. He was once upon a time a unified champion that he never defended. Nonetheless, he was still undefeated. So they needed somebody to put on Wilder's resume. They knew what they were doing. But Tyson Fury came in, putting his hands behind his back, doing all that stuff, coming out, you know, using energy that he didn't supposed to have. Yeah. But the mistake that he had and he made in the first fight, he kept trying to fight from the outside. You don't fight somebody that tall and that long and that powerful. It's almost like you guys seen Wilder shoot them 50 cal rifles. Have you seen him shoot a 50 cal? That's how that right hand is. It's a 50 cal. A 50 cal scope that you're letting him get in range for. You got to stay close on him, push him back like Parker did. Kurt, Miller Prime versus Wilder Prime. Wilder. Because eventually You keep getting hit in the head. You keep getting punched over and over and over again. I don't believe that somebody's chin will stay intact. We talk about Canelo's chin. We talk about Julio Cesar Chavez's chin. We talk about all these guys that took all these amazing punches back in the day. But let me tell you something. What did they have to do with heavyweight divisions? Nothing. They didn't have anything to do with it. They never been hit by heavyweights like that. Joe Joyce was another one. He's the prime example why you can't rely on your chin, rely on defense to get away. Because if you don't rely on defense and you only keep getting shots, you don't know how many shots that you can take before your chin, that force field, that magic aura around you shatters because your chin has eventually cracked. He's there. They've penetrated your chin with a shot, finally. And it wasn't the fighter that did it. Not only did it doesn't all go to him, it goes to all those other people that were throwing these shots, landing these shots, and this guy's taking it like it's a superpower. It's not a superpower, people. Having a good chin does not give you a superpower. Because eventually, if you think it's giving you a superpower, it's going to be times when that superpower is going to turn into a vulnerability. And that's what happened with everyone that thinks, oh man, I can take punches. That's why Jarrell Miller, he takes too many shots. Now, if he can take Wilder's shot, I would be impressed, but it's going to be a matter of time when he gets the right person in the ring, just like Joe Joyce got Zhang in the ring, big bang, and Big Bang showed him that big bang, and out went Juggernaut. He could not handle those punches no more because it's so many times you can get caught like that. Miller's like a buffalo, 60 pounds and around. Beto will gauze out. I don't know much about Beto. I don't know much about him. I don't know, I just know he's Cuban. Miller, yo, just listen to your last couple of videos. Can I say something? If Sugar Hill don't say nothing to John, it does make Sugar a bitch, in my opinion. Gotta call it like I see it, cause I never expect that. You know what, Tony Lyons? I'm sometimes you gotta speak up for yourself, and I'm tired of people trying. That's why I'm not doing all that. If Sugar Hill Stewart likes getting that shit talked upon him, and he likes people dragging his name through the mud, that's his business. But as a man, no, you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to say that anyway. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. I corner that motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm going to make him fight me. I don't want nobody to be around. I don't want him and his brother. I don't want none of that. Catch his ass coming out the pisser. Meet his ass in the bathroom like Bernard Hopkins. Meet me in the bathroom. He told Bill Haney, meet me in the bathroom. Meet me in the bathroom. Terramona versus Miller. I don't know, man. That's a big step for Terramona. And you know what? Jarrell Miller would probably try to get up under the skin. I think Zhang and AJ hits just as hard as Wilder, and I believe AJ has a better chin and durability than Wilder, as well as a gas tank. I'm not worried about Wilder's gas tank. I don't think that's the case. I think he gasses out if he gets too heavy. Damn straight, brother. I just rock up to his crib. Big John. Well, no, they can't have guns, can they? I bet you Big John has one. Get in the floor. Get me the gun. Get me my pistol. I'm going to kill him. You can see AJ meeting Usyk and going to Usyk crib. Yeah, but see, Terramona is nah. I don't think so, bro. Because it's going to be a sad day if that I hope it don't happen. But I'm not surprised if Jarrell Miller gets knocked out one day and you're like, dude, he's supposed to have such a good chin. Keep telling you guys that. Wilder crushes AJ. AJ and Usyk married now. Gassiev should fight the winner of Miller versus Bettel. Miller should get one of those fights. But he has to win every one, the next 2 or 3. I see on Google AJ meeting Usyk to go to his house. They're getting a real welcome. AJ will benefit big hanging around Usyk. It's like Rocky 3. Rocky went out there to Apollo's gym where it was real. It was gritty. It was musty up in there. You didn't have other stuff to distract. I think Jai Bataya can move up to and beat Garcia, probably Moses or Torres. I don't know. Because, I mean, you got somebody that's heart and mind, rather, is not on to moving up in weight. Effie is underrated. He is. Effie's going to knock a whole bunch of people out, and people are going to realize, yo, Effie Ajagba, you know, and I think he got the bad rap because he became a bad guy because everybody loved AJ before he started getting knocked out here and there. But keep in mind, Effie Ajagba is a good fighter, man. Why don't we hear about them anymore? Am I missing something? You know, it's going to be me that does it. I mean, because a lot of times that people, boxing is not the way it used to be. I'm just going to be real with you. It's not. People used to love to listen and to interact. You know what I mean? You know, like a lot of times people come on and like, oh, you got a bot channel. Well, look at the comments. So. Yeah, man. I wanted to reach out to you guys on this Sunday afternoon. Dude, it's not a, check this out, dude. It's not a cloud in the sky. Look at that. It's not a cloud in the sky. So, but yeah, man, I'm going to jump off of here. I got to finish some more vids. I will have a fight prediction next week on Thurman versus Fondor, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for videos, shorts, full length, etc., etc. Thanks for hanging out with me an hour of my day on this Sunday. Of course, please subscribe. And everyone has been Counterpunch. Peace.